my favorite thing to do at the start of every video is now, Claire?
No.
What? I say Claire, because when I'm editing, you're like, what's that sound?
Yeah, it sounds like you're yelling at me from another room.
I don't have a voice still, guys. I can't do the stupid high-pitched voices that I usually do. We've got something special, and it's kind of funny because you guys probably thought that the X570 Aqua and the Z390 AORUS XTREME WATERFORCE was bonkers. Wait till you see what AORUS sent us. This is just the most completely over-engineered HDD board I've ever seen. It's got a full cover monoblock, and yeah, it basically actively cools everything that gets hot on the board. So with that in mind, and my voice sounding completely ridiculous, we're gonna check out the X299X AORUS XTREME WATERFORCE that supports the brand new Cascade Lake X CPUs. Let's take a little bit of a look at it. Alrighty, before we start this video, I'm just gonna make it clear that this video, it's not a review. This is just an overview so you can get an idea of the feature set with this board and what physically comes in the box when you buy a bonkers board like this. We know this board's not for everyone, but yeah, it's insane that it exists, and yeah, I'm glad that it does exist. And we're not doing VRM analysis or board teardowns or basically anything like that. There's plenty of other channels that do that stuff, and we're just not one of them, so please, for the love of God, don't ask why we don't do it. It's just not what we do here. Yeah, Hardware Unboxed will have this board after us, but I'll talk about that a little bit later. Anyway, let's check out this absolute monster of a motherboard. Okay, I'm apologizing in advance for my voice. I'm still very, very sick, but I just had to show you guys this bonkers motherboard. We're checking out the AORUS XTREME X299X WaterForce. I'm pretty sure I said that out of order. All right, let's see. The first thing we've got in the box here is the Gen 4 add-in card that they showed at Computex. Now, this CPU and motherboard combo does not support PCIe Gen 4, but I think they just threw this in here for additional storage. I mean, you're paying 2,900 Australian dollars for it anyway, so why not just throw in an additional storage card? So yeah, let's get it out of the box and we'll take a little bit of closer of a look at it because we couldn't take this apart at Computex. So yeah, now's a good opportunity as ever, to get it out and take a look. It's pretty easy to disassemble. Just pull the 6 screws off the back of the card itself, remove that back plate, and just pick it up and flip it over. Once you flip it over, you'll see the 4 PCIe Gen 4 connectors. Like I mentioned, this board does not support PCIe Gen 4, but yeah, it's just there for good measure. On the bottom of the actual card itself, there is some thermal pads to help with the heat dissipation, because if you were to use this in a PCIe Gen 4 system, you would know that, yeah, they get very, very, very hot. So that's why they have that blower style fan on the end as well. It'll help get all of that heat shot out the back of your system. Okay, let's see what else we got in here. Let's get the top box out and we'll take a quick look at the monoblock. So this is basically the full cover monoblock that will water cool, well, rather the water runs through to cool the whole motherboard. So now this does everything from cooling the chipset to cooling the CPU and the VRMs and the 2 M.2 slots on the board. But anyway, let's take it out and so we can get that bit of a closer look. It's a very, very big monoblock. It's actually designed and developed by Bits Power. I confirmed this with Gigabyte yesterday. I just had to know who made it. It comes with all the mounting hardware you're going to need to use to install it. Now, this one's actually easier to install than the Z390 WaterForce. There's 8 screws included. There's some thermal compound for the chipset as well. And there's also some additional thermal pads just in case you install a different CPU or if you're installing this multiple times for different systems over time. I think they did a really good job designing this monoblock. It's got a very, very nice finish as well. So aesthetically, it's quite pleasing. It's like I mentioned, it's pretty heavy. I didn't get an opportunity to weigh it, but it's heavier than the Z390 WaterForce and the X570 Aqua monoblocks by a long way. But yeah, Unlike the Z390 Waterforce, this actually comes with caps in the inlet and outlets. Yeah, that board didn't come with it. It was just open when they shipped it to you. Here you can see the chipset cooling on the left-hand side. Now you do need to apply thermal paste to the chipset itself, and there's also thermal pads for the two M.2 slots on the board as well. If we go up the water block, you'll see where the CPU makes contact with the water block, and just above that, you'll notice there will be cooling for the 16 plus 2-phase VRMs. This motherboard is, I think it's quite over-engineered. I don't hate it. I think it's good. And yeah, let's move on to see what else comes with this motherboard. Next up, we've got the motherboard itself, but we'll come back to that. We'll take a closer look at that. But let's just see all the accessories and all that jazz that comes with the board. Now you've got this sheet of stickers. It just makes you really MLG essentially. This is the AORUS fan commander. Now they include this with all of their extreme boards. Basically what it is, it's a hub for all the fans and RGB and all that jazz as well. It'll allow you to do PWM control and addressable RGB and 12 volt RGB, all from one connector. It's also got some thermal probe sensor connectors as well. And yeah, let's just take a look at all of that stuff as well. Basically what we've got here is a bag full of all of the RGB cables and all the PWM cables you would possibly ever want to connect up to. I don't even know. It's a lot of fans. There's more than enough here for any system. And they've also got included thermal probes. They've got Velcro straps. They've got the USB connectors to connect it up to your motherboard. Basically everything that you need to get this controller working comes in the box. And it's very, very good that they do this. Okay, let's put that all back and take a look at what comes with the motherboard. You've got two more thermal temperature probes. Yep, pretty standard stuff. All the high-end Gigabyte boards usually have this anyway. There's a multilingual installation guide that helps you just do really basic things like getting the CPU and all that stuff into the socket. Very nice to have. Always keep that handy. Doesn't matter what experience level you've got. This is the actual user manual and user guide. Now this will talk about overclocking. This will tell you where stuff is on the motherboard. This will tell you where stuff is in the BIOS. Make sure you keep this handy. It's always good to not have to look this up on the internet at a later date. Alright, let's have a look at all the other stuff in the box. First up, we've got this little microphone. Now, there's a bit of debate on how this works. I've never personally used it, but basically it's a microphone that detects the noise levels and adjusts fans based on noise levels. This is a bunch of the Corsair RGB adapters and another 12 volt RGB cable connector. Pretty standard stuff for all these high-end Gigabyte boards. I like that they include all this stuff now. There is the G connector. This is just for your front panel wiring. It's a nice little thing that helps you just cable manage and whatnot and just plug it straight in one block into the motherboard. There's 6 sleeved SATA cables. This is a nice touch. Once again, Gigabyte does this on all of their super high-end boards. It's nice that they included it. There's 2 antennas for the Bluetooth 5.0 and the Wi-Fi 6 that's built into this motherboard. Quite nice. That's actually a new thing with Cascade Lake X as well. There's 2 Velcro straps, which is really nice for cable management. More of these, the better. Never ever complain about having too many of these. Next up is this, the thing that I've been wanting manufacturers to do forever. All of the drivers and everything on USB sticks. A lot of really high-end boards come with this. I don't know why the X570 Aqua didn't come with that actually. This is all the M.2 standoffs and everything you're going to need to mount the M.2s to the 2 M.2 slots straight on the board, which we're going to take a look at in a few moments when we actually take a closer look at the board. And there's also this little thing here, this badge. Now this badge will basically give you an extra 4,000 FPS in every game you play with it, as long as you put it on the outside of your system. And that is the biggest lie I've ever told. Anyway, let's move on and take a closer look at the motherboard itself. Alright, let's do it. Let's do it. First up, you've got the front panel audio connector. There's a 5 volt addressable RGB header, a 12 volt RGB header. There's some BIOS switching stuff here. You can switch between the multiple BIOSes. There's also a reset switch and a diagnostic LED to diagnose any problems you've got with your system. There is a lot of stuff down the bottom here. There's 3 USB 2.0 headers. There's 3 PWM fan connectors, there's a USB 3.0 header, and the front panel connector to connect up all your lights and all your wiring. Now, next to that, and I like that they do this along the edge, there's an additional PCIe power connector for the extra power for the slots if you need it. There's also 8 SATA connectors for your spinning rust or 2.5-inch SSDs. There's a USB 3.0 header. There's 2 USB 3.2 Gen 2 headers. Very, very nice. I like that this is now becoming a thing. And a 24-pin power connector to send all of that juice to your very, very wet motherboard. There's some more RGB connectors along this edge as well. There's some buttons, one for overclocking, there's one for power, there's some more PWM fan connectors, and there's 2 8-pin EPS power connectors to send all the juice to that 18-core CPUs. You know you're going to use it. It wouldn't be 2019 if I didn't quickly just gloss over the VRM setup. It's got a 16 plus 2-phase digital VRM setup. Completely overkill, completely awesome, and I love it. Right. It's also got 2 M.2 slots. They're Gen 3 slots. They're not Gen 4, despite the fact that it comes with a Gen 4 card. They literally did it just to save money, even though you're paying a lot for this board anyway. Because this is an HEDT motherboard, it has quad channel memory. It's got 8 slots in total, and it runs in quad channel. Did I just say that? Oh well. Anyway, let's move along. It's got a standard 2066 socket, which supports chips all the way from Skylake X refresh all the way up to Cascade Lake X. So that's the 7,000 CPUs all the way up to the 10,000 CPUs. Very, very nice. Next up is this full cover backplate. Now, this is to help the rigidity of the board because the water block is quite heavy, and it's also to help with that heat transfer. And we saw this with the X570 Extreme as well. It dropped the temperatures quite considerably. Okay, if we flip the board back over, you'll notice there's 3 16 times PCIe slots. Now, all 3 of these slots can actually run in 16 times if you have the right CPU on your motherboard. The Cascade Lake X CPU, the 10980XE, will support all 3 of these ports running at full speed. Okay, let's take a look at the rear I/O. You've got 2 USB ports. You've got the Wi-Fi antenna connectors for the Bluetooth 5.0 and Wi-Fi 6. You've got 2 Thunderbolt 3 connectors, which are also double as USB Type-C. There's some DisplayPort connectors. There's Gigabit Ethernet as well as 10 gig Ethernet. There's some USB 3.2 ports and 7.1 digital surround sound audio. And obviously it's got an integrated I/O shield. But enough of that, let's look at that sweet juicy B-roll. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. This board's it's crazy, and I love it. And yeah, I personally would probably never use a motherboard like this, but like I said before, I'm glad it exists, and I'm glad that it exists for those people who are insane enough to buy it, and people who are insane enough to build with it, and someone who's actually going to use it. Because if you're interested in grabbing the X299X AORUS XTREME WATERFORCE, it's going for around, Claire, do you know how much it's going for?
$5.
2,900 Australian dollars, which is around 2,000 US dollars at the time of filming. Yeah, this board's definitely not for everyone, but I'm still glad that it exists because it's bonkers. And yeah, unfortunately, like I mentioned, we're not doing a build with it because there's a few reasons why. We don't get to keep it, and we don't even have a CPU for it. But we're sending it on to our mates at Hardware Unbox, and they're gonna do the full analysis and all the stuff that they usually do. So keep an eye on their channel, and yeah, don't worry, they don't get to keep the board either. So anyway, that's the end of the video. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. If you like this video, you know what to do, and tell us what you hated about it. Once again, thank you so very much for watching. I'm your boy Nick with no voice, here from Gear Seekers. You peak, we seek. That sounded really weird when I said that. You're from Gear Seekers. Yeah, I've got no voice. I shouldn't even be making videos at this stage, but this thing is too bonkers not to share, and I really just had to share this with you guys. I hope the voiceovers weren't too raspy, and yeah, I hope it didn't sound like I smoked like 4 million packets of cigarettes. Yeah, I don't smoke, by the way. But anyway, thanks for watching.